Sector Wars, play Astro Blaster.
If you destroy my baby,
Intruder alert. The intruder must not escape.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become a valiant knight.
you will be destroyed soon.
Prepare to qualify.
Oh, warrior needs food badly.
Lead on, adventurer. Your quest awaits.
Hey folks, Crazy Clamerator here again, and this time we're going to look at a game called AB Cop, and this was created by Sega in 1990, and the AB in the title stands for air bike, and you are a cop that rides an air bike, a hover bike, and the game is very similar to Chase HQ, in which you had to catch perpetrators by smashing into them as much as you can until they have to pull over or blow up or stop or whatever. And that's the same in this game, but you ride an air bike, and you can use unlimited turbo boost in this one, which is very cool. For some reason it doesn't always seem to work, but for best results, push upward and gas in order to make your turbo function work. But like I said, sometimes it doesn't seem to want to work, and it takes a few seconds for it to kick in. I don't know why that is, but the game is otherwise fairly cool. You have a limited number of jumps that you can make on your bike, and this can sometimes get you to drop onto enemies. And here you see in the demo, that's the turbo. When you see those orange rings appear behind you, you're using the turbo function. And you will see an arrow appear eventually on a number of motorcycle perpetrators. And you have to hit them enough to where they blow up. And after you destroy the requisite amount, and you'll see that at the top left, I think that's 3 motorcycle helmets. That's the amount of perpetrators you have to take out. Then you will face a boss on a particular vehicle that you have to hit a number of times, and they're going to try to shoot some sort of projectiles at you. And we'll go ahead and get started. I've never seen this game. It is kind of cool. I kind of like it. But it is frustrating when the turbo doesn't seem to want to work for some reason. But you see at the top right, you have a limited amount of jumps that you can make with your bike. And on occasion, you can pick up icons with a J, and that'll give you an extra jump. And we see the perpetrators here. Whoops. Yeah, you can get knocked over. You flip over and lose some precious time trying to catch up to the perpetrators. And yeah, you're timed. You only have 60 seconds to start with. Once you destroy all the perpetrators, then the time resets quite a bit. I don't remember exactly to what, but then you'll have extra time to take out the boss. And here reset to 52. And the boss will fire some sort of projectile, like I said. Don't let that hit you, because it will knock you over and cost you time. Just try to get in close to the boss if you can, and they can try to take swipes at you. You see their energy meter at the top left. If you need to, you can try to get alongside them and maybe jump onto them or slam into them from the side, but they can take swipes at you and knock you over. And there, I destroyed the first boss, and here is the second boss. You'll notice that your score can go crazy high, not just by riding, and yeah, you go right through that waterfall. Not just by driving your air bike will you get points, but you'll get some crazy points for taking out the perpetrators and the boss, especially. But yeah, you score way high in this game. And if you can manage to get, I think it's 60 million in this game, before you face the sixth stage, then you will get to play a special bonus game, and we'll look at that later. And now we face the next boss. Yeah, there I jumped, and I jumped right over his projectiles. So make good use of your jumps. But if you can get close to that boss, then they're not going to be shooting those projectiles. And those projectiles, like I said, they're shooting a lot of them, and when they hit you, they'll knock you over and make you lose precious time. And you don't want to do that when you have a timer, and when it runs out, your game will end. You can spin to continue, but you won't pick up right where you left off. You start the whole course over again, and your score resets to 0. So that really kind of sucks. And here is the third stage. I could not beat this. This is like in Japan. And there's just too many turns for me. And too many trucks that get in your way. But you need to take out enough of these cyclists here. And then you'll have to beat some sort of samurai boss at the end of the stage. See, I'm already run out of time, and I didn't kill nearly enough of these perpetrators here. Yeah, there were some J icons that give you extra jumps. You get an extra 5 seconds if you do decide to continue. I decided not to continue there, but like I said, your score restarts, and you have to start the whole course over again. I will show you what it looks like to beat the rest of the levels and get to the bonus game. Now, the bonus game is very reminiscent of Power Drift, an earlier game by Sega, and we'll look at that in a little bit. I put in my initials, and I got the top score. With over 16 million. Yeah, you score a lot of points in this friggin' game. Well, that's AB Cop, and the AB stands for Air Bike by Sega in 1990. But we will look at snippets, at least, of the remainder of the stages. And that's what it looks like if you do decide to continue. Thank you, coin. But yeah, your score starts over, and you start back at the beginning of the course. We'll scoot forward to me facing the boss of this stage. Yeah, he shoots these skulls at you, and he can swipe at you with his swords if you try to come at him from the sides. But it might be a good idea to hit the turbo, get alongside him, and maybe also use a jump to land on top of him and hit him. Because he will try to slash at you with his swords if you are on the ground and you try to get alongside him. This is where the bosses get really freaking hard. I put on cheats, I put on infinite time, and eventually I put on infinite jumps. I've never seen this in arcades. I'd never heard of it back in the day. It's kind of fun. Like I said, it's reminiscent of Chase HQ and the bonus stage is reminiscent of Power Drift. And yeah, now you have to face clowns. Definitely playable, definitely fun. I enjoy this game, but yeah, it's frustrating. The bosses get very tough, and the turbo doesn't always want to work for some reason. It takes a few seconds for it to work sometimes. You're like, I know I did this right. But yeah, for best results, I guess push up and gas, and the turbo will work. Always have the gas held down. Always have it held down in this game, but when you need the turbo, press it again real quick and press up. At least that's been my experience. And now we face a clown boss, and they're shooting these beach balls at you. Or these circus balls. And he also has a whip, and he can smack you if you try to come from the left or right. Ah, my God. The bosses are just... Jesus. Just a pain in the ass at this point. There, I finally was able to hit him. But yeah, it might be a good idea to hit the turbo, pull up alongside of him, and do the jump, so that he has less chance to whip you. Yeah, you get a big old bonus for beating the bosses. Yeah, you need, like I said, you need to get 60 million by the time you beat the 5th stage in order to play the bonus game. And in the bonus game, you just drive along this course and try to collect these super deformed or chibi icons of the bosses. You collect those, and you'll get special bonus points for them at the end of the course. And we'll look at that in a little bit. I was unable to reach that with this particular gameplay. Yeah, if you've never heard of this is kind of fun. It's not very often that you can play a game with infinite turbo boosts. Here in this tunnel here, if you do a jump, you can hit your head on those beams there. So be careful with it. Yeah, I just cannot beat the 3rd boss without, and after that without cheats, without infinite time. But it's so nice to play a game where you have infinite turbo. That is really cool. And that's 5 bosses, and I was not quite able to get 60 million. So we're not going to get to play the bonus game here. But this will be the final stage, stage 6, and you face all the bosses. And they are so much easier this time around. They do not have a very big life bar in general, and you can have a lot of jump icons to pick up. And they do not shoot projectiles at you, which is very nice, until the last one. It's the explosion graphics got kind of glitchy, but yeah, these bosses are much easier. The last boss is a different one, and it's this guy that fires these other guys at you. It's really weird. We'll look at it in just a second here. Yeah, it's this guy, I think. Yeah, he shoots these guys in friggin' shirts or purple shirts or something at you. Weird. I do not know what that's supposed to be. What a goofy boss. And he just keeps shooting these guys at you. Well, we'll fast forward to me beating him just because he's a pain in the ass. But yeah, try not to get hit by a boss's projectiles because it really slows you down. But we will just see the ending because I didn't get to the bonus stage. Well, happy hump day. Hope you had a good weekend, a good Martin Luther King Jr. Weekend. And not a very interesting ending here. He's just parked his air bike and he's looking at the sunset. Drives along the highway. In what is likely Los Angeles area, Hollywood or wherever. That's A.B. Cop by Sega in 1990. I gotta put in my initials again. The max score is 99,999,990, I think. That's the highest you can get, and it won't roll over. But in a little bit, we'll look at me getting to the bonus stage, having 60 plus million by stage, and there's a chibi version of them dancing at the end by stage 6. But yeah, if you've never heard of this one, give it a try. It's pretty cool. And here I've got the maximum 99,999,990. And after you beat the game and the game ends, then you get to play the bonus stage. So yeah, we just beat all the bosses and skip forward to me beating the last boss with all the guys in the purple shirts that he throws at me. Weird. And then you go through the ending here. That is A.B. Cop by Sega in 1990. Pretty cool game. And again, I've never heard of a game where you can have unlimited turbo boosts. That's really pretty cool. Even though they don't always seem to work. Just keep doing it, it'll eventually work again. You'll like spend 3 seconds going, what the hell? I know I did this right. But now we will face Extra Stage. And like I said, if you've ever played Power Drift, then this feels very, very familiar. And Sega also made Power Drift, so that's probably intentional. And now, yeah, you can collect the chibi icons of the bosses. Sometimes you'll have to use jump to collect ones that are above. And I'm not very good at this, obviously. But there will be every boss on this course with a chibi body. I put on infinite jumps and infinite time on this, I think, and then I took it off. And yeah, you can use your turbo boost on this too. And now they count up the totals. And it doesn't matter because I've already maxed out my score. That's how the bonus stage is on AB Cop. As long as you got 60 million or more, by the end of the 5th stage. Kind of fun game. I dig it. Definitely never seen it before, but discovered it through MAME and I enjoy it. And there's the chibi versions of the bosses dancing at the end again. Very weird, but very fun game. But that is AB Cop, which stands for Air Bike Cop, by Sega in 1990. Well, this is Crazy Climber 80 saying thanks for watching AB Cop by Sega in 1990. Hope you have a good rest of your week. Now we'll catch you later in the future with another video. Y'all take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.